Hey, I'm Chris Anderson, artist on American Caper, along with David Lapham, and you are listening to 11 O'Clock Comics.
Heard it bouncing off the ceiling. It was exciting.
It's because I'm all alone in here. There's only two of us, so it's so echoey right now.
I know. Oh well, you'll have that. Yes.
We'll still have fun.
I plan on it.
Yes, right. We're bringing back Bullpen Bulletins, baby.
How many people do you think, other than the ones that listen to 11 o'clock, remember Bullpen Bulletins?
Oh, wow.
Because we only did 33 episodes.
Yeah, but I mean, we did 33 episodes over the course of almost a year. Whereas obviously now with 11 o'clock, we'd have that have been done in half a year. But I mean, the old heads, the people who were with us, the people who hung out with us on the CGS boards, they'll remember. But yeah, I mean, as far as anybody who came on in the hundreds or even after Chris left, I'd be very surprised if I mean, some have gone back and listened throughout the feed and have gone all the way back because fun fact, little piece of trivia is that we did not. We kept the hosting URL. We kept the RSS feed. So even though it's 11 o'clock comics, when your podcatcher grabs that feed, grabs that file, it's connected to Bullpen Bulletins over on the Libsyn site. So yeah, it'll never die.
No,
I'm going to remember fondly. But yeah, it's a neat callback. There might be some moments where I kind of go down memory lane with tonight's episode, but we'll see where everything plays. But yes,
I think it's appropriate that it's still tagged to Bullpen Bulletins because we're still the same.
Yes,
right. Only under a different name, right?
Yep.
Oh, what is the name? It is 11 o'clock comics. 1048. Yes, and I am Vince B.
You are Vince B. I am David A. Price. And now we get crickets.
Crickets. That's a sign that Jason, or whoever he claims to be, this for the episode, is not here.
I think he can go by Ahab since he saw some whales this week.
As long as he's having fun.
He seems to be.
More power to him. But Jason's not here. So it's just David and myself. Brought to you by cheapgraphicnovels.com. That's cheapgraphicnovels.com. Where do you go if you don't want to pay retail price for your omnibus editions, your DC's Finest, your Marvel Epic Collections, your trade paperbacks, your one-shots, which would be OGNs, your manga? You go to cheapgraphicnovels.com. The prices are crazy, to use an obliterated phrase, that it's insane how cheap they are. And I'm not embellishing at all. In addition to the seasonal sale, in addition to the Nick and Dent, nudge, nudge, wink, wink sale, they have specials. Max has selected specials for your perusal. And David has picked some.
I have picked some. And full disclosure, you won't know this by the time you hear it, but we're recording early this week, so I had to scramble to get our little spot taken care of tonight, and then I can post everything else for the Slackers tomorrow. So, what I've chosen, it's not a large week. There wasn't I went outside the box a little bit tonight because there were things that I had my eye on. There were things I had my eye on, like Crisis on Infinite Earths Book 2 from DC Finest Collection. So I didn't choose that. I did not choose that for you, Vince. But we do have Alone in Space hardcover for $24.71. Tilly Walden's complex lyrical stories about queer love, fantasy, coming of age, and cats are now available in this collection. In the end of summer, Lars is battling illness and boredom in a secluded castle at the start of an endless winter with a giant cat to keep him company and fraying family bonds to test his strength. In I Love This Part, two small-town girls kill time and try to muddle through school when an unexpected romance blooms. And the surreal A City Inside recounts one woman's life from childhood on in a poetic tale about coming of age when you think you're past all that. This graphic novel also includes never before collected early sketches, webcomics, including the short comic What It's Like to Be Gay in an All-Girls Middle School, which shot Tilly to fame on both sides of the Atlantic. We also have Children of Light trade paperback for $22.46. An advanced alien race attempts to escape oblivion with the help of a world-sized spaceship on an omniscient supercomputer and a mysterious group of godlike creatures in this eye-popping illustrated sci-fi adventure. In the far reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, a supernova obliterates the homeworld of the Zors, an advanced alien race. But the Zors knew this particular apocalypse was coming. To escape destruction, they built a world-sized spaceship run by an omniscient supercomputer. They search for a new home, but the odds are bleak. Aboard the ship, major unrest amongst the crew and passengers endangers the mission of survival. Outside, in the cold of space, the enemies of the Zors gather to destroy them. Watching over the Zors are the beings of light, mysterious godlike creatures able to intervene in the affairs of others. But will they be able to save the Zors? Written and drawn by Belgian cartoonist Jean Players in the early 1980s, The Children of Light is an awe-inspiring vision of a universe completely different from our own, intricately drawn and laser blasted with radiant color. This is the first time The Children of Light has been collected and translated into English. This new edition features an interview with Players conducted by Tom Oldham of Breakdown Press, which sheds light on the creation of this wholly original work. And lastly, Night City hardcover for $17.49, a brand new action-adventure comic series by Berserkers Matt Kindt and Stray Bullets' David Lapham. That's Fight Club meets Superman, a legendary hero. He is caught between two worlds. By day, he soars as a symbol of hope, but the moment he falls asleep, he enters a universe devoid of heroes, and he leads a mundane life. As the pressure of his dual universes mount, his heroic self begins to crack, pushing him toward a mental breakdown in a world that measures the loss of human life that occurs when he takes one night off. The weight of his responsibilities becomes too much. Ultimately, he's left with a choice: embrace his extraordinary abilities or seek solace in the ordinary. Will he stand tall in a world that needs him, or find peace in a simpler existence? This collects Night City numbers 1 through 4.
Hoorah! And not the last time you're going to be hearing David Lapham's name.
Nope.
On this. No. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Go there. You're insane if you don't.
It's true.
Yes. I will be all over the place tonight because I plan on finishing my entire list. And it's a big list. Yes. Even if I say 2 words on something, I will have said it.
Okay.
Yes.
From your lips.
To God's ear. Right. I am not an OT capitalization drinking tonight. I am, I am drinking, but I have a long day many appointments tomorrow, and I am drinking the blackberry lemonade.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I'll make up for tomorrow night. Yeah.
I decided I ran into the liquor store on the way home from running some errands after work yesterday, and I decided to pick up a bottle of the Milk Keeper because I haven't had it in a minute, and this is a Cabernet Sauvignon from California, respecting the past, pioneering the future, authentic, approachable, artfully crafted wines that honor the everyday. The Milk Keeper from Gamble Family Vineyards, and yeah, I threw it in the decanter while I was having dinner tonight, and now I'll have some of this while chatting with you, and I will chase this with some 130-degree water when I'm done.
Excellent, excellent.
Yes, yes, yes. Nothing but the
Yes,
best.
I miss wine, but it's a good cause.
Yes, 100%. I'd be
Yeah.
surprised if you were drinking, so this is perfect.
And I'll be driving because it is Jersey, and at least two the
Right.
place. So I don't want to be. Not that I drink a lot, which I do, but the bottle's almost done. Like there's just enough to put in your infinite decanter. You know, it's not a glass. It's so yes, I do drink a lot of wine, but tomorrow is a special day, so I'll make up for it. And she surprised me. Quotes the sisters in laws are coming over Sunday to celebrate my 1 year anniversary of being diagnosed. I That's not a surprise. That's more like a nightmare to me. But I acquiesced. If it makes you happy, I it makes me happy. New year, hopefully, new me. I'm trying to be a better person because I could
Okay.
get pretty salty when I want to
Yeah.
post diagnosis. Yeah, and what's the point, really? What's the point? And by not drinking, they'll be able to understand me better. Because last episode, wow, I was turned. By the time we finished, I was turned. And I just like
Well, don't
threw in the towel. I like, fuck it. Why bother?
don't say that because that's people are going to think then that that's what caused you to make that claim last week, and I'm still riding high on that
Oh,
on that whole.
I stand by it. I stand by it. I don't care what he says. Grant Morrison is a good writer. Now I can speak. I could speak. Grant is a good writer when he's on long-term series like Doom Patrol. He's a really good writer. When he's on a short, limited series like Infinite Crisis, he's where he is a not a good writer because the majority of your concepts should come across without a lot of heavy lifting, or you're not a good writer. I think there is a lot, especially in Infinite Crisis, that flew off the heads of people reading it. That's not, and Multiversity, forget it. That's not. He has some, he has mostly good concepts, but he presents them in a way that are difficult to understand without a lot of research. No one wants to do research. No one. Peter Reels, accepted. And maybe Murd. No one wants to do research. And that's why I said what I said. I didn't say he wasn't a good writer.
Right.
I said you know, but now I get the chance to speak.
I get you.
So, yeah.
Before we get into it, I just want to give a massive shout out to a good friend David Milburn. He. This is, you know what, we talk about the Slack. I don't think we talk about it often enough, but we talk about the Slack and we big it up. And you know, I mentioned the new release list every Wednesday morning at 8:30 Eastern time, and everybody on the Slack can go and check out the new releases of the week and post their top 5, what they're looking most forward to that week. We can keep that thread going. Give us your thoughts on things like that. We have, I mean, there's a ton of channels in the Slack, regardless, whatever you're into, even if you're not into comics, if you just want to talk about manga or movies or TVs or travel or your health, like, you can just hang out wherever you want. But last week, I threw out the call because for some reason, not every, and this has been going on for ages, so I just have to be cognizant of it, but there are some books that do not convert over to the pull list on DCBS's site. So unless I go back, I know. I said some, but yes, I don't subscribe to everything, so I just have to go by what I've personally witnessed. But there are some books that just never carry over. So I have to have the last kind of 2, sometimes 3, but at least the last 2 orders open in case anything's bi-monthly, to see if anything that doesn't get pulled over that I don't miss. And I failed to do that last month when the Adventure Time quadruple feature number 2 was solicited, because I ordered number 1 and then I saw number 3 in July. I'm sorry, not last month. So in June, I forgot to order number 2. So I saw July's had number 3, and then I realized, oh crap, number 2 wasn't on my June order. And when the book came out last week, so I put the call out to the Slack, and I said, if anybody works at, has their favorite shop, if anybody can let me know if the second issue of this miniseries is available, holla, because I'd rather give the money to a shop that one of our patrons frequents, and because I don't have an LCS anymore, and I requested the second issue, but it was not available. Even like some of the other online retailers, they were just like, they didn't have it. So I threw the call out. David answered almost immediately. He says, I got you. And I'm staring at it right now. It came real quick. So thank you, David. I really, really, really appreciate it. But yeah, aside from it just being a cool place to hang out, like, there are extremely friendly and helpful folks, honestly. I wouldn't have it any other way, but yes, it is a great place. And I was elated, and I seriously, I thank you, brother.
David is a good dude.
He is. And he's been with us for ages.
A long time. Long time. You know what would solve your problem? It works for me. No, I'm not being facetious. What would solve your problem? Sticky notes. Because I agree with you. There are a lot of books on that service that don't transfer to the pull list, and if I order the first one, I will forget, unless it transfers over, I will forget to order it. So I've been putting the ones that don't transfer on a sticky note, and I never miss an issue.
That's good to know. That's handy.
It's ugly on the desktop, but it's unmistakable. You have to look at it. And that's the point of a sticky note. You have to look at it. Now, littering there's maybe 10 things on it. So it's not that, it's noticeable, but it's not overbearing. Where if I had 30, there'd be a problem. I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't order anything. But sticky notes. I fought tooth and nail for the longest time. I'm not gonna, because I like a clean desktop. The only icon I have on my desktop is my recycle bin. That's it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
cannot.
I hide my icons.
Yes, I can't stand icons on the desktop.
Same.
Whereas the sticky note is there, right? But it's because it's a sticky note. It begs to be looked at, and then I do not miss an issue because a lot like okay, enough of that, enough of it. Yeah. So in lieu of Jason not being here, I will go first.
Drat, I had something. Okay, go ahead.
Well, like I said, I'm going to be quick. I would want to catch up with Corpus Night. I talked about the first issue and then nothing afterwards. So I read Corpus Night 2 to 4. There will be 6 of them, published by Image Comics. And you have to be really careful with this because the creators are the writer and the artist. So Michael Chaves is the creator and the writer, and Matthew Roberts is the creator and the artist. So it is Chaves Roberts production.
Nice.
Rico Renzi is a colorist.
Good for Rico.
He does a phenomenal job of coloring this series, and Pat Brousseau is the letterer. Now, why am I bringing it up? Well, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel again. Foy is looking for Joan of Arc, or Joan d'Arc, because Foy believes that she, Joan, can cure her father, who in the first issue had been turned into a zombie of sorts. So they're looking for Joan, and the father stops Foy from becoming a human catapult. It's a great scene. They single-handedly, now this is France, so they single-handedly swing the battle. They're traipsing across France. They stumble upon Gilderay, who finally brings them to Joan. Let's just say she's not what I expected. Foolish me for having preconceived notions, but Joan is not a nice person. There are chunky in the Eric Larson Savage Dragon tradition. There are chunky letter pages, rife with commentary. I love this series. I don't know why. I think Matthew Roberts is a very talented individual. I think the art's great. I think Rico did a great job, and I love the story. So I implore you to read Corpse Night. Whether or you get the 6 issues singles, or you wait around for the trade, hopefully a hardcover, because I'm going to double dip, because it's that pretty. It's not pretty. It's well done. It's well done. Yeah. The Corpse Night, it's great.
It does look
That's
good.
what
I'm a big fan of. I like Roberts a lot.
Yeah,
And
Roberts is great.
He's still one of my favorite because Manifest Destiny seems to have gone on forever, and he was the artist on that. And I still think his the piece he did for Jason's Cannonball Run jam is one of my favorite. I mean that's an amazing jam piece anyway, between Kevin Maguire's Roger Moore and Dave Wachter's Jamie Farr. Like there's so much good on that jam, and for Jason to ask Matthew to handle it as well, it's a stunning piece. But yeah, Roberts is great. I mean, after Manifest Destiny, I really hadn't heard much from him for for a while, and then I saw his name attached to Corpse Night. I was like, I'm glad to see that he's still at it. So it's nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you read?
I was it was another weird week for me. I was trying to play catch up. I was trying to clear the decks a bit of a couple of things. So a lot of it was still like I have a few balls I'm juggling. I have a couple of books and even some graphic novels that I'm handful of pages in. I haven't like just sat down and read anything straight through. I'm kind of like jumping around. So when I finally finish everything, my list will be as long as Jason's arm. But
That's long.
It is. But some of the things I've been I alluded to, I think a week or two ago, the post KO with Superman, of course, out in the ether. All of the Superman titles, the Super family of titles, were all starring younger versions, alternate versions, or just completely different versions of a Superman or a Superboy. Basically the event, and it wasn't an event. It was no crossover. It was just it was stamped onto the covers of Action Comics, Supergirl, Superman Unlimited, Superman, and it was Reign of the Superboys. And so Action Comics had, by Mark Waid and Scott Partridge, you had young Clark Kent, young Superboy, still obviously living on the farm in Smallville, unaware of kryptonite, still getting used to his powers. It basically is almost like the anti-Man of Steel. Everything that Byrne wanted to do away with, Mark Waid's like, we're bringing all that shit back. So that was in Action Comics. Supergirl, of course, was Supergirl, but Connor Kent, the clone, he was guest starring in that series. Superman Unlimited had John Kent, the Superman, and the Superman ongoing has Superboy Prime, and which of course would. I don't know, Vince. I don't know if you're rubbing off. Maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe I'm just like Jason said. There's no place for hate in your heart, and
he's not so bad this time around.
Yes,
He's strong.
exactly. So, and I'll touch on that. So you had Superboy Prime in Superman, and not only did you have John Kent, the grown up, in Superman Unlimited, you also had supposedly John Kent from the Super Sons era, as a young boy, and who, when he was stuck in a volcano, and that, of course, hijinks ensue because we find out that, spoilers for anybody who's reading Superman Unlimited in the trade, it's not John Kent. It's not young John Kent. And I'll give it up to Slot because that was pretty clever. Because at first, older John Kent thought that he was just rescuing himself from the past. And because he didn't want to have any sort of time paradox or have the humanity fold on itself, he knew he couldn't be John Kent around John Kent. So he decided to become Tomorrow Man and cover his face and a full face mask, almost like Captain Britain, where you just have the hair showing, cape, covered head to toe, like boots, gloves, the whole nine. Like you couldn't, aside from his hair, you wouldn't know, unless you're Lois, you wouldn't know that was John Kent. So I'm not a big fan of the name, even though I know Superman's supposed to be the Man of Tomorrow. I'm not keen on Tomorrow Man. Anyway.
Yeah, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense when previously Jonathan struggled with being the new Superman, and Superman's like, you do this better than I do. Why would you cover your face? Like, it's to me, it's going backwards. It's this cat, it's regressing. But maybe they have a reason. I am waiting to hear from you.
Well, I don't know if you're going to hear from me yet because, well, so the reign of the Superboys was overall, it was entertaining. Sophie Campbell, Supergirl, she was basically dealing with a lot of drama in the bottled city. She was cut off from her powers. She was a cyborg for a minute. It was a wild, crazy adventure. Very very political in spots because she's arguing with the Science Council, and you're seeing that the old heads aren't necessarily doing right by the younger generation, and things need to change. So hopefully that will happen going forward for the residents there. Action Comics, again following KO and Superman disappearing, Martian Manhunter, Mary Marvel, and Booster Gold went back in time, or hopped in the time stream to look for Superman. And he ended up in Smallville back in the day, and are now face to face with a young Superboy. And Booster, being Booster, his lips are super loose, and he's dropping little info nuggets left and right, and both John and Mary are yelling at him like every 2 minutes to shut the fuck up, because like you can't tell this kid, what kryptonite is if he hasn't experienced it yet. Like you can't, like you're giving things away. He doesn't know we're from his future. So it's like, but Booster's the lovable idiot. So you can't. Anyway,
He is that.
there's also the villain Epoch is after our heroes, and figures, okay, well now I can just a not as powerful Superman. I can clear the board and just live my life happily and all evil like. So all the heroes, the three heroes, Superboy, they all try to they get together to battle him, and then they decide to go looking for Superman, and that's where that Superman 2026 annual Vince and I talked about last week. That ties into that. The Superman ongoing with Superboy Prime, Joshua Williamson, beautifully illustrated by Dan Mora. This was a lot of fun because with Superman not around, Metropolis still needs a Superman. So here's Superboy Prime, and who goes by CK, and he has a job at a comic shop because he knows his shit, and he's really quick at bagging and boarding books, and he can put, he can handle the inventory. He meets a fetching young woman who comes into the shop, and he's like me when I was, well, I still am, but he was like me when I was younger, where you can't pick up on clues. You have no idea when someone's flirting with you, and she was with him, right, and he wasn't catching up on it. But they sort of kind of go out on a date. We find out she also has an alter ego, and then and we have action. We have Superman, Supergirl, and Superman Unlimited. So the reign of the Superboys wrapped up, leading into the annual. And from the annual, we're now going into the crossover event, actual crossover, 9 parts across the 4 books, with I think at least one shot special. But Kingdom of Zod, much to Vince's chagrin, kicks off in Supergirl, and I think that's just because of the scheduling. If Superman Unlimited kicked it off, then maybe we'd have a little bit kind of a different momentum. But because it starts off with Supergirl right after the previous run where she's fighting Black Flame, and Lena Luthor is helping her, and Superboy is there with her. She realizes that with Cal not around, that it falls on her to to continue
Yeah.
carrying the torch for the House of L, and so she, which is unfortunately, it was just it's. If that happened 3 months ago, that might have carried some weight. But because she's like, oh, I'm gonna pick up the mantle and run with it, only for Superman to come back a week later. It's just it bummed me out a bit, but I get it.
Yeah.
I know it's just timing, everything like that. It's fine, but
It's true though. She is next in line.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
She's got a. I think she has a claim. I mean, she's an actual native of Krypton. I feel that she has, even though Kal-El has actual offspring, she is next in line as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
So with Kingdom of Zod, it's going through it's going through the Superman family of books. Kicked off with Supergirl, written by Sophie Campbell, art by Joe Quinones for the most part, and Paolo Villanelli, and it kicks off right after the events from Reign of the Superboys, because before we get into the whole Zod reveal, we see Superboy Prime and Superboy Connor Kent fighting, because
Yep.
it's like, bro, you killed me, you just I don't like you, and he's like, listen, and Prime just keeps saying, I'm so sorry, I don't know how many more times I can say I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, I didn't. So you've got there's that's what was. Sorry, don't mean to backtrack, but the main threat for Superboy Prime when he was in Superman's book was Manchester Black's return, and the way he fucked with Prime's head and getting him to just how manipulative he was, and what I enjoyed about it was that because Black is burrowing into Prime's head, and he's pulling all this information, what the kid knows about the secrets of the DC universe, and how they were able to play with the panels, and he breaking through it was very breaking down the fourth wall. It was Deadpoolish in spots, but it was extremely entertaining, I felt. So I thought Williamson and to Vince's credit, Williamson and Mora did a fantastic job with that run.
Before you move on,
yep,
if Superman does not like Manchester Black.
Correct.
If Superman doesn't like you, there's you're a scumbag. Because Superman likes everybody.
Yeah.
He does. He gives everybody a fair shake, fair play, except there's a very short list, and Manchester Black is on that list. He does not like him. He will work with him, but he does not like him. And that says a lot. If Superman doesn't like you, why are you here? But anyway, and you should be embracing Connor, because Connor really does not like Superboy Prime.
You're right, and listen, bro, I'm ride or die for Connor. I mean, especially the '90s version with the Reign of the Supermen and following Tom Grummett, Carl Kessel telling these stories. I love that version of Superboy, and I felt some kind of way when he buzzed his head and just wore the black T-shirt, and Johns and McCone enlisted him for the Teen Titans. I knew it was time to update the look, but I wasn't a fan. I missed the jacket. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like the jacket.
Yeah, it's a cool fucking jacket.
And the belt. The belt.
And dude, the belt. I just the shades. That was such a great look. It was so.
There's not a bad issue.
And they all look good, but yes, I absolutely do love Connor. So we So in Superman Unlimited, Slott was telling this story about the kryptonite meteor that landed in El Calderon, and the monarch there is basically, the government. Well, the people there, it wasn't doing well. The economy was crap. It wasn't a prosperous region until the kryptonite came, and it was a huge boon, and they were able to market it and manipulate it so that they could use it for other purposes and benefit the world. And now the economy is doing much better. There was the monarch had a right-hand man named Bruno, and no matter what, that was his guy. And we find out that unfortunately, there's in Action Comics 1100, which was kind of like a prelude to, which was more of this was more, even though the annual took us from 1100 into Kingdom of Zod, Action Comics 1100 wrapped up that main storyline with young Clark and the heroes from the future, and it touched on some of the other Superman family stories, and it was a bit of a prologue to the Kingdom of Zod. So at the end, when you have the king calls for Bruno shows up, and because something's up with the kryptonite that's been sent all over the world, it's poisoning people, and the king can't have that. He's like, I'm not trying to hurt people. We have to. There's no way. So we have to fix this. And Bruno's like, yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna fix it. This is all going according to plan. And we find out that Bruno is Drew Zod. General Zod has returned after that swell, awesome miniseries, beautifully illustrated by Dan MacKay last year. And you had, which of course was also, I'm sorry, it was written by Joe Casey, and that's that's a neat little touch with the Kingdom of Zod storyline. There's a couple of pages from that miniseries to kind of catch you up on what Zod's been up to, and also this is, if this was the long game, props to the creative team. Because that's how far back this goes. Following Absolute Power, when heroes, metas and non-metas, when metas lost their power and some non-metas picked up some powers, or powers were just given to alternate characters, and we now finally know where Lois received her Superwoman powers from.
Yes, finally.
So that question's finally been answered, and I was blown away, and so Zod is now in control of El Calderon, and the king, the monarch, has been imprisoned. So our heroes, the super family, is heading to El Calderon, and that's when all hell breaks loose. And while they're there, that's when the time bubble holding Superman, young Superman, Superboy, Martian Manhunter, Mary Marvel, and Booster Gold shows up in El Calderon right when everybody else is feeling the effects of this krypton poisoning, and so our heroes emerge from a ship and almost immediately succumb to the poison, but Lena Luthor has devised these special case shields that are good for about an hour, and so you have to run out and get them solar charged. But that'll fend off the effects of kryptonite, so they can at least handle some business in 60-minute spurts. But we're only 3 chapters in. The issue by the Superman Unlimited issue has art by, hold on, I think I would have had the page already set. No, I do not. It's written by Dan Slott. The art is, was it by Myers? No, they are hiding the credits page on Superman Unlimited. But what I really enjoyed, Stott is your artist's last name, Stott. But what I enjoyed about the Superman Unlimited is that since even though he's never because young Clark Kent, Superboy from Smallville, never came in hasn't at this point come in contact with Kryptonite yet. Superman has him just run away, get out of here, fly away. You can't be here because I mean, never mind the fact that you're not strong enough to withstand it. Basically, you can't die. So, like, because if you do, I'm not here. So he flies away, and he sees a woman about to get attacked by a bunch of El Calderon guards, and so Superman, young Clark, swoops in to save her. And she's like, wait, who are you supposed to be? And then she's like, holy crap, like you're, and she recognizes Cal, and he's like, well, yeah, that's me, the one and only Superboy, and you are. She's like, I can't explain it, but every time we've met in every reality, it's always been wrong. But right now, in this moment, you're younger than me. This is how it was supposed to be. I was supposed to be your babysitter, your guardian, your protector. And so he starts to feel the effects of the kryptonite. She gives him the shield. And he goes, no, you can't. You need it, because then you won't have it if you give it to me. She's like, no, that's why I'm here. I was rocketed to Earth before you. I was rocketed to Earth to be basically like be your big sister. I'm your older cousin, and so I'm supposed to take care of you. So this is what I'm doing, and so she says, I'm your cousin, Kara, and he says, wait, so I'm not the sole survivor, and like the look on his face, and she's like, I have family, and he hugs her, but he's slick. He's like, listen, I'm just sharing the kryptonite shielding, like I just want to make sure you're safe. She's like, yeah, of course you are. It was a great little moment, the highlight of the issue, and then we have some Tomorrow Man action with the Steel duo, and then Superman coming to save Lois. But the Action Comics issue, written by Mark Waid, art by Montos, who I had just talked about in with Chris Condon's Green Arrow run. It was nice to see him here. The art worked for me. It's not it was great. I thought it was really fitting for Green Lantern, for Green Arrow. The superpowers, it's a little different, but I still like Montos' style. I like the facial expressions he gives to the characters. There's a lot of emotion. It's not. What's weird is that for this to be an event, it's not necessarily illustrated by the series regulars. So that happens, but for me, it's still a rarity. It doesn't happen all that often, but it is what it is. So we're living with it. I thought, again, 3 chapters in, it's I had something else I thought we were going with it. Like I don't know if it was if it's because Zod is not. I think he showed his cards too early. He doesn't have all his powers. He's not as powered as he should be. And when he does get powered, he's going to feel the effects of the kryptonite as well. So like I don't know how smart this game plan was. but he's not at the top of his game. He might have plans. He's got the things he wants to set in motion, but physically, he's not ready yet to go toe to toe with Superman. And while we still have a dozen chapters left, like it's still, I don't know. He should have hit the ground running and laid waste to these guys, and we're not there. And so I don't know if we're starting on the back foot. I don't know if hopefully we'll reach a peak, and then we'll be able to have that big knockdown drag out, and it'll feel like this is what I was waiting for. But it's not starting off as strong as it still kind of feels like a prologue. Like we're not in the actual event yet. And that's weird to say when we've already had 3 chapters of it. But yeah, I Superman's back. Which is what?
Kinda. Which is it sucks that they're charging $4.99 an issue for these things, or $3.99, whatever they are. And I think it could have been planned better.
Yes. Yeah.
For as long as this event is, or crossover is, I think that number one, it should not have started in Supergirl. That's beside the point. Where I think the deeds or misdeeds should be bigger, and they're not. It's okay, but what I expect, and that's on me, right? If for an event, a crossover this long, to start up this slowly, it's a problem.
Yeah,
it's a problem. I'm in it. There are some good parts to it, but for the most part, I'll read it, but it's probably going to read better all at once than in chunks.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
because I think last week we got 2 chapters. This week we only got 1. So it's going to. Yeah, I mean, however many Superman title books there are, that's how long it's going to take. Although we do get the Eradicatrix.
Which that stop
doesn't really roll up.
Just stop. No.
Yeah,
no.
I listen. The Eradicator is a special. That instantly invokes something, and I don't like the Eradicator or anything related to the Eradicator kind of being watered down or misused. Like Cyborg Superman, you want to have him show up and be a thorn. I get that's fine because Hank has, axes to grind and scores to settle, and the team of Mr. Fantastic, he's got issues. So I mean that's fine, but the Eradicator, of course, is Kryptonian technology and is not. He was fine. The Eradicator served a purpose, and I mean it's a neat tip of the hat, but it's weird to see the Eradicatrix. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
It was groan inducing. Yeah. I wish that part was not even in it, but you'll have that. So quickly, very very fast, Fantastic Four number 15 is the 65th anniversary of the team, of the family. I will not say what happens because it just came out, but it was written by Ryan North. It was published, penciled by Humberto Ramos. And say what you will, he draws a great Susie. I cannot wrap my head around his Reed. I think he draws Reed way too old, way too clunky. Like Sue is a dime piece, and Reed is like maybe 4 cents. But yeah, it's the smartest guy in the universe, but it's Susie we're talking about. But anyway, and the color artist is Edgar Delgado. I won't say anything about the plot. Suffice to say that we bid adieu to Johnny's mustache.
Finally.
Finally, thank the gods that it happened, but it happened way too late for my liking. I think it should happen two issues max, maybe three, but it's been almost 2 years. Like, I'm glad it's gone. I read X-Men 35
Oh yeah.
because I'm buying DNX in singles, and I thought, what the hell? It's drawn by Tony Dandel. It's probably good. It features one of my favorite mutants in Ileana, aka Magic. She's one of my favorite mutants. I love her to death, but it also features one of the mutants I dislike in Hank McCoy. Now, I'm saying this because Jason's not here, but I really don't like the Beast
At all.
in his
In
in
any
his blue form. No, in his he's better bad than he is good. But where we've
Oh, so you like
seen
Age Apocalypse Beast? You like Dark Beast?
yes, I like the Dark Beast, and in this issue, we are we're shown the chairman or the commissioner, which is a white beast, and it's like, wait a minute, you're the same as I. You're supposed to be so smart, and that it took you so long to realize this. What? You have the same fangs, you have the same ears, you have the same glasses, the fur. Like, how did you not know? But anyway, Magic comes to the Beast, and because he summons her, and he's like, "How do you do it? How do you control the darkness? How do you know that you are eventually a bad person, but a good person? Like, you have it inside of you. How do you reconcile the darkness?" And it's like, dude, you're so smart. You're asking Magic how she does it. She just does it. Like, what's the alternative? To be bad? No one, your brother alone would not. Well, he's been bad too. That's not a good example. Um, Whereas you have behind the scenes, you have this white beast controlling or taking control of one, the Office of National Emergency and the 3K, and they have a Magneto. They have a Magneto. Whether that means Magneto has somehow gone bad, just like the Juggernaut went good, I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but this is not, and it's the white beast's goal to turn all humans into mutants. Like, that'll solve the problem. Maybe, maybe a certain percentage would be like, oh, cool, I have superpowers now. This is great. But there are also will be a certain amount, a certain percentage that will resent. They will not consider it a gift. They will lash out. So it's not going to solve the problem. And it's like Jim MacKay wrote this, and it does not give me the warm and fuzzies of DNX. It doesn't. Like I am, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four for some reason are showcased in this DNX. So I thought, what the hell, right? Fantastic Four has been decent under recently. I'll take the chance. I can't say the same about X-Men. It's been, oh well, you win some, you lose some. I will not say what happens in this issue. I will not reveal a whole lot of the plot because I got this issue through ill-gotten means. It's an exclusive retailer edition. So we're not supposed to see it until it ships, the real issue ships. But it was written, created, and illustrated by Daniel Warren Johnson. It is called Chain Kata number 1, lettered by Russ Wooten. Now, how do I know that this it was photographed? It wasn't even scanned. The person that did it photographed the issue. And like I said, it's way for, I think it comes out in October, November, whatever. But he's Daniel Warren Johnson, pretty much the most violent I've seen him. It's entirely in black and white, and chunks of space are in color. So it's odd to look at, and it smacks of that the Jack Kirby kinetic vibe, that collage that Kirby tried out for in the New Gods and other books at Fantastic Four. He did it as well. It's amazing, but and there are accents that are in red, and I will not tell you what the accents are, but it's very, very violent. Like it is. We know Daniel, right? A nicer guy you would not hope to meet, right? He's a prince. This issue, I'm going to stand like 3-4 feet away from him because it is one as hell. Oh my God. There are a dismemberment aplenty in this issue, like crazy amounts of blood and body parts being thrown around. Put it on your list. Chain Kata, number 1, by Daniel Warren Johnson. It is so good.
That cover looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's going to stand out on the shelves because it's in black and white and color. But it's very odd looking, but it looks great. If that makes any sense. Daniel was certainly, it's the story is fun. Well, fun in quotes, but the art is just crazy. Like, wow, Daniel. If you've read his solo works before, Chain Kata is not unlike. It has a female protagonist, so there's that, But it, like I said, it's very bloody. Be on lookout. Chain Kata. I was jazzed after I read it. I don't know how long or how many issues it will be. Does it say? It doesn't even say number one. It says,
An
special
Ashcan?
thanks. It's blurry. It's an ashcan, yeah, but it's blurry as hell on the Indicia page. So I don't know how many issues it is, but it is amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The story that Dan Waters is telling, that Dennis Cowan and Norm Rapmund are illustrating over in Nightwing, I believe has wrapped up. Well, I kind of hope it's wrapped up because, although I don't like where it ended, because the next issue, 142, I'm talking about issues 139 through 141, but issue 142 is part of that Bad Seeds crossover happening to the Batman family of books. So,
Yeah, it's long.
yeah. Yes, like
It's
19 parts or
long.
some shit. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I'm not saying it's stupid. It's a crazy amount of issues. It's a 10-week event. So however many issues come out in a week for that, but it's a 10-week event. Batman, Poison Ivy, Detective Comics, Batgirl, Batwoman, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Nightwing, and more beginning this month. So I am pretty sure that based on how everything's been going with the Batman family of books, because this event I think is co-written by Matt Fraction and G. Willow Wilson, but the whatever, if you've been reading all the Batman books, then this isn't even a blip for you all. You're going to dig it, and that's fine. Unfortunately for me, it's interrupting a couple of books that I was reading, and I'm not, because I am enjoying the Fraction Jimenez Batman. I am not going to now go and buy a bunch of other Batman related books just to see what's going on with this crossover. Either I'm going to skip the Bad Seeds issues of Batman, or I'll see if I can follow along just reading those issues. But I think I'll be taking a break from Nightwing again, because unless Waters and Cowan and Rapmund are still attached to it, I don't think they are, because or at least I don't think the artists are. I haven't looked at the solicits. I don't know who's drawing the next couple of issues of Nightwing, but I doubt the Bloodhaven lore storyline is going to continue with the Bad Seeds crossover. Anyway, the Bloodhaven lore kicked off a few months ago with Nightwing, with us finding out that the mayor has leveled neighborhoods and communities and has put up a massive bridge that's just interrupting everything, and so Nightwing is driving on the bridge one night, and there's what appears to be a young woman hitchhiking or just wandering the road on the bridge, and he picks her up, and they're talking, and he feels that she may have escaped an institution, and she attacks Nightwing, and she stabs him, and he loses control of the car, and it crashes, and he causes an accident, massive pileup, about 9 people died, and the DA finds Nightwing at fault, and they want him to present himself and stand trial from a jury of his peers. And he hasn't been sleeping. Like this event has wrecked him, and he is just he's going out at night. He's barely sleeping. He's being a little bit more violent, a little bit more aggressive than usual. But he can't shake the feeling that because this woman just disappears. He has no idea. He can't find her. And over the course of the next few issues, we find out other kind of dark secrets of Bloodhaven, and so there was a whole there was the crash on the bridge. There were there was a story called The Forest, where an actual I don't know if he's a farmer, but there's some creature. I mean, he's acting like it's Bigfoot, like it's some cryptid. So Nightwing investigates, and he actually asked Starfire for help, and we get a little bit of an awkward conversation. It's not extremely comfortable between Dick and Corey right now. Again, he hasn't been sleeping. He's not exactly firing on all cylinders, so he may be a little flippant, a little short. He might say some things that he's going to regret later. But even Corey has changed, and they're not the same people they were when they were dating in the 80s. The creature that attacked the farmer, it's not a wild animal. It's an alien. It's a scion, and so she, while it's attacking Nightwing, Starfire blasts it and basically kind of like sets it on fire, and he goes running. So she's like, "Yeah, I may have made a mistake here." And Nightwing's like, "Oh, you mean so sending a burning creature running toward a very dense and flammable woodland at the edge of the city wasn't the smartest idea?" So they go and it perishes. It burns to death. It almost made it to its ship, which has been it's almost like it's shipwrecked. The craft looked like it's been here for decades, and then no one found it because the woods kept it secluded. But now that the superhighway's been built and is disheveling everything and upsetting everything, it's been disturbed, and so it must have woken the scion up and driven it into the forest to feed, which of course now it's eating all the farmer's animals. We find out that the alien, the scion, whose name is Vikal Shivik, was sent to Earth in pursuit of the violent invader Coriander of Tamaran, who plots against your people. Which, of course, is bullshit, but Corey destroys the computer, wiping the system. And she... It's almost like it's revenge. It's even though the ship was kind of like keeping Vikal's consciousness alive, since the body was already dead, Corey figures, might as well, the mind may as well join it, and so she destroys the ship. Basically, she views it as a kindness, but I don't know. I don't think Dick really feels the same way. Anyway, he after that he decides to visit the DA, and he tries to tell his side of the story, and what caused that pileup, and to tell her about the Witch of Bloodhaven. And then we cut to the witch, who was still again walking down the road, and then she's picked up by another vehicle, and then that's the last we see of her. Then there's an issue dealing with the waterfront, and there's there's a bunch of bodies. They're almost, they've been in the water for so long, and they're so decayed and so rotted that like they're almost one massive mass, and it's insane. And so because the superhighway was built and disrupted everything, and so these bodies that were basically left undisturbed at the bottom of the water for so long as the pylons and everything are being built and installed. The bodies are floating up to the surface, and so Nightwing is playing medical examiner, and he's over here hanging out in the morgue, and he's separating bodies, and then the medical examiner shows up, and who turns out he has assisted Batman a few times back in the day. So he and Nightwing decide to spend as much time day and night as they can working on this. I mean, Nightwing is already working beyond like 24 hours of being awake. They're going through records. They're finding all they're closing cases as they're identifying these bodies, and then there's one body that they can't quite. There's no fingerprints on file, but Dick is able to, with his master sleuthing, finds out who actually killed this person, why they killed this person, and turns out it was a priest. It was a priest who did the deed, and he had his reasons. And Nightwing's like, well, listen, or Grayson's just like, we can work this out. Like, you don't have to take your life just because we'll but that doesn't go the way the way Dick wanted to go, and he's like, listen, and he says but the priest is telling him, I can't talk about it because it was in a confessional. Like, I promised not to tell you, not to tell your secret. I'm not going to. I know what I did, but I can't discuss to the authorities what was discussed in the confessional. But Dick's just like screaming. It's like, you killed this man, and he says, yeah, but it doesn't matter. This is the line I draw. I'm not going to break the covenant with the Lord. It's like but
I will take a life.
Right. So, what the hell? Yeah. The Lord will forgive me for that, but I just can't talk about it afterwards. So Dick Grayson is at an impasse. Like, he can't. He's not going to. Like, so this is the kind of. There's not a whole lot of closure in this arc. It's an extremely heavy arc, and in the most recent issue, in number 141. This is the day. It's 3 minutes to 10 a.m. when Nightwing has to turn himself in to the authorities, and there's a whole bunch of folks. There was actually one of the even before that there's an issue about a dive bar which had to do with a serial killer. Again, nothing bright and cheerful. Super heavy, kind of depressing. But again, the issue dealing with the there's a mob of folks. There's a crowd gathering by the courthouse, and you have a couple of people who figure Nightwing's not gonna give himself up. He he put a bad guy cop in the hospital the other day. Maybe Nightwing finally got his balls, and he's not going to he's not going to turn himself in, because I saw him years ago back in Gotham, and this was neat because you get to see the old long hair mullet Nightwing with the blue and gold outfit. But this guy saw Nightwing like just throttling this drug dealer on the roof, and threatens the drug dealer, saying, listen, I can drop you off. I could drop you from the roof. We can do it two ways. You can land on your head and it's over instantly. And you're like, no. Maybe I'll just, maybe I'll flip. I'll turn around and I'll land on my feet, or I'll go feet first. And then Nightwing's like, but that's not going to work either, because basically from this height, your bones turn to powder. You'll bleed internally, and you'll feel it, and there's no hope for you. So it's like, what's it going to be? And this guy figures, yeah, Nightwing's going to get rid of this guy. We got drugs on the streets, Nightwing's going to kill this dude. Everything's going to be great. But no, Nightwing uses his grappling hook and prevents the dude from hitting the ground, mere inches from the ground. And so this guy's like, yeah, Nightwing was all soft back then, but I'm sure now, he's finally grown a set, and this is perfect. And Dick Grayson's listening to this, and he's just like, yeah, all right, dude. So, and while this is happening, Kate Spencer, aka Manhunter, who is also the Justice League's lawyer, she's here because she's here to defend Nightwing should he choose to turn himself in. But he rather not do that because it's going to open up a whole can of worms. Not just with his identity and the identity of other people in his orbit, but it could start muddying the lines even further regarding vigilantes and what they can get away with and whether or not you can go to get sued or have to face time for doing your good deeds. There's another young woman who's talking about how she met Nightwing because her dad died and she was beside herself, but she went up to the roof of the hospital and she was going to kill herself, but Nightwing kind of comes over and he just talks to her and they spend all night talking and she felt seen, she felt heard, and she credits Nightwing for saving her life. And so, and Kate is like, you listen to all this, like you hear what these people are saying, like they don't want you to put yourself through this. Like you actually help, you do help people. You're a force for good. And he's ready. It's 10 o'clock. He starts to pull his mask out of his jacket pocket. And before he can apply it, this woman walks through the crowd and says that there was somebody responsible for the car crash, and it wasn't Nightwing. I am the Witch of Bloodhaven. And she says he was kind. He tried to take me to safety. He rescued me. I attacked him. I caused the crash. So I'm here to turn myself in. And with that, she says Nightwing is innocent. The DA is like, so you're confessing to this crime. And all right then. So she gets arrested. And Kate lets Dick know that, this is the best outcome we could have hoped for. Like this is just, I'm beyond relief. And while everybody is looking at the woman being arrested, being arraigned, Nightwing notices this dude off to the other side, to the back of the crowd, looking the other way, and then start walking away from the crowd. So Nightwing follows him, and we find out that is actually not the Witch of Bloodhaven who turned herself in. It's a completely different person, and the person who turned herself in, the guy who was at the event and turned around and walked away, that's his woman. And so she's going along with this because they have debts, and this is going, she's not going to be in prison for long because the lawyers are going to work and get her freed, and it's all an elaborate ploy, which we see that the mayor is likely behind it, and because he doesn't want the hero of Bloodhaven to have to go to jail for anything like this, and so they just concoct this story and have a doppelganger turn herself in, and the witch is still out there, and it was, I don't want to say entertaining. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this run. I mean, aside from the Cowan art, but I thought I don't read a ton of Nightwing books. I still have to get the Tom Taylor run and the Taylor Redondo run. So I want to read some fun, some happy Nightwing stories. This wasn't it. I still enjoyed this, but This was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. It's darker than really sort of any Batman story I've read recently, but it was it was an interesting way to kind of wrap up these 6 issues. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily feel like the conclusion of an arc, but again, I with Bad Seeds, I don't know if we're going to come back to this afterwards. I'll poke around and see, but yeah, it was interesting. It wasn't a Nightwing story that I'm used to, and so for that I'll give the creative team credit. Nightwing is having a bit of a panic attack at the end of the story, so he's still not in great shape. It's going to suck, if he's going into this crossover, getting like practically zero sleep and fighting ghosts, but I'm sure he'll overcome it. But yeah, it was I thought Bloodhaven lore was I liked it. I don't know where it ranks on my favorite Nightwing stories, but it was nice to look at, and it was weird, but all in a good way. I liked it more than I thought I would based on how it started. As each issue was coming out, and we were going down some dark and crazy avenues, and seeing how bad it can get in Bloodhaven, considering things can be bad in Bloodhaven. I thought it was I thought Waters and Cowan had fun with Nightwing.
Excellent. Yeah. It sounds to me like you have to love the character. You have to like the character of Dick Grayson / Nightwing to like the storyline.
Yeah, because there was, aside from Starfire, we did get a Batman cameo early on because the bridge connecting Bloodhaven and Gotham, and there were snipers on either side taking out commuters, and it was a violent storyline, which is probably what threw me.
Yeah, I like Dick. I don't love him, but I like him. Do I think he's the best Robin?
No,
not really.
He's the first, and I think. Listen, and at this point, we've said countless times, and it's only gotten longer since then. He's been Nightwing longer than he's ever been Robin.
Right. I think he's better in the Titans than he is with Batman.
I agree. That is my favorite version of Dick Grayson when he is when he's in Titans, especially Wolf and Perez. But yes, that's my favorite version of Dick Grayson, and the fact that I was buying Teen Titans, New Teen Titans as it was coming out when he retired, and same thing with Wally. He and Wally walk off into the sunset in the same issue. When he leaves as Robin, only to come back a couple issues later, and still have to be in the game and becomes Nightwing because he outgrows Robin. I do have a connection. I have an affinity for the character. This is weird, because I was there when he started as Nightwing. So the fact that I got to see it happen in real time, there's a pull, and I don't think I'm ever really going to shake it. But same thing. It's kind of similar to my love for Daredevil, is because I was enjoying Daredevil during the Miller stuff, and then we get Born Again, and that's my tether. That's my anchor. That is, I'm never not going to like Daredevil because of Born Again, and I may not love every story. I may not love every creator who's worked on the character, but I am a Daredevil fan, thanks to Miller and Mazzucchelli. But it's the same thing with Nightwing. I may not read every single Nightwing story, but I am a fan of the character. But no, the best Robin is Tim Drake. And there was something else. I got to thinking about Judge Dredd the other night, and the way my mind was working, I realized that the first time I laid eyes on a Judge Dredd story were the quality reprints where it was Brian Boland drawing the Judge Death story. And I wouldn't consider Brian Boland the best Judge Dredd artist, but that just happened to be the artist who was drawing the character when I was aware of the character. So I always associate Boland and Dredd. Now I'm sure he's only drawn a handful of stories compared to other artists who's drawn serials of the character over the years, over the decades. But I might start thinking about other artists or other characters who were drawn by artists that really didn't necessarily leave a mark or stick around on the character for too long. After it was I don't know how the hell. Oh, I kind of do know how I got to thinking about it, because it was a long and winding road, and how I ended up thinking about Boland and Judge Dredd. But don't do drugs, kids. But you got it. It was a a crazy thought process I was going through, and then thinking about who else has drawn Dredd that I've absolutely adored, that I would think would be the best Judge Dredd. I mean, I'm sure Ian can tell me this, but I don't know who would be what. Who?
Carlo Escara.
Oh, well, yeah, but is that because he was the first?
No, he was the first,
right?
But he's also the best.
Okay,
Boland's good. I like Boland.
Oh, but Boland is also clean. He's also. I mean, you know what you're going to get with a Brian Boland piece. As Kara is, I mean, that worked for Mega City 1. I mean, it's not that was. I think he's a fantastic artist, and yes, and that was. I can absolutely see that. I mean, I would take, as much as I love Steve Dillon, I would agree with you that Escara, I would still take his Dredd over Dillon's and over Boland's, but it's just. But now I kind of almost have to force myself to separate Boland from the character in order to give it to another artist. It's weird.
It's on your head.
It is. I'm done.
But anyway. that's where we live, right?
Yeah.
In our heads. So it's real. Just like the Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 54. I may be a bit hypocritical now because it's about baseball. And I don't love baseball, but I do like it when my favorite heroes play the game, right? Just like the X-Men played baseball or softball, whatever it was. It was fun. World's Finest 54 was the epitome of fun. F-U-N, fun. Written, of course, by Mark Waid, with art by Bruno Frida, and color by Luis Guerrero, and Steve Wands did your letters. It is a baseball game in hell.
Okay.
Yeah. Kurak and Bialia are fighting again, and the negotiations are not going well. Where you have Neron, who we all know, kidnaps a bunch of heroes and takes them to hell and says, okay, here's the deal. I won't cheat. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I won't cheat, but if you win the game, then Bialia and Kurak will negotiate. If you don't win, it will spread and World War III will start and they're the doomed. So you have your outfield, which is Superman in left, Plastic Man in center, and Flash in right. You have your infield, which is Wonder Woman at first, Brahman is second, Bumblebee is shortstop, Strange, Blue Beetle plays third. Your pitcher is Black Lightning. And of course, your catcher is Batman. The umpire is Etrigan. Your relief pitchers are Zatanna, Metamorpho, Big Barda, and Iron. And on the bench, rotating as needed, are Elastigirl, GI Robot. Remember, Elastigirl, they have Doom Patrol series coming up. So, Elastigirl, GI Robot, Black Canary, and Freedom Beast.
Freedom Beast.
So, yeah, formerly known as something else.
Uh-huh.
But Neron does cheat.
No, not the guy from
yeah,
hell.
he does. He cheats. I won't tell you wins, but it was a hell of a lot of fun. I think the art is it it speaks to the Bronze Age to me,
Sure.
where you have a montage like Beetle gets hurt early on, and the heroes have to rally in order to beat the demons. But Etrigan is your umpire. Like, how perfect is that? He
That is
is
pretty good.
he's evil, yes. He's a monster, but he's impartial.
Right.
He's perfect. Whereas Batman has to say what's happening at all times because he's Batman. I thought this issue was a hell of a lot of fun. Whereas we have fond memories of the X-Men playing baseball. We
Yep.
do. And basketball and sports in general. I think that it is the perfect time that DC has the Justice League, in a sense, playing baseball. And it's a done in one.
That's great.
Yeah. The plot hinges on a real baseball player. Well, real. That Clark used to love growing up, but one only sees the baseball cards and the game and thinks that the person is on the up and up when the opposite is true, was this person was not a nice guy. And read the issue. It's a lot of fun. Words of
Okay.
Honest number 54. I know you read it. In passing, there are a lot of creative types that worked on this deluxe edition of Detective Comics 1027. A lot of people. Tomasi, Walker, Hennessy, Fairbairn, Bendis, Marquez, Sanchez, Fraction, Zdarsky, Rucka, Rizzo, James Tiny Onion, the fourth, Riley Rossmo, Placencia, Garcia Lopez, Mulvihill, Kelly Sue, John Romita Jr. Like, there are a lot of
Lord.
people. Yeah. Jamal Campbell's in here, Marv Wolfman, and Emanuela Lupacino, Sienkiewicz, like a lot of people. But what is the point of reading all those names? I think there's more that there are. Morrison, Burnham, Fairbairn, King, as in Tom King, Simonson, Laura Martin, Scott Snyder, Ivan Heiss, Prado, Chung, Bermejo, Dan Jurgens, like Kevin Nolan. There are a lot. Okay, enough. But if I had my way, I use all of those names to illustrate the fact that if I had my way, all the Superman stuff in the DCU would be illustrated by Dan Moore. All, It's a fact. The
Yes.
guy draws perfect.
And
All
his
of the
women
Batman,
are
yeah,
super attractive.
they are. They are. All of the Batman stuff would be drawn by Riley Rossmo.
Really?
I love, yeah, I love Riley Rossmo's style. I think what he did on the Batman Shadow is just, he's in there. It's just the tip of the iceberg. He has the best story. And, well, it may be me loving Rossmo so much that I am imparting, but to see Rossmo drawing not only Batman and Robin, but Deadman as well, like stop. It's too good. It's too good. That is the reason why I say that Superman, Mora, Batman, Rossmo. You'd have to chain them to the drawing board, and they wouldn't eat and they wouldn't sleep. But I don't care because I'm, I'm in AWOL. I love their work, both of the gentlemen. I love this entire issue as its ups and downs. Like, well, I won't say, but it should be read because it's Detective 1027. It's the
That's not on your list.
thousand.
Yeah.
It's not on my list, no. But I recently picked it up on eBay for $10.
Sweet.
I think I have, yeah, I think I have the regular edition, but I don't have the hardcover. And I'm trying to get every piece of Rossmo art I can in hardcover form. So there's that.
Okay.
Let's see. Bad Idea-O-Rama. I'll be fast.
Good.
Um, Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, in the Inside Job #1. I got the Spielberg cover. There are a bunch of homage covers that David Lapham drew, and this was the one that spoke to me the most. I think it's a little okay. Do I get $5.99 out of every Bad Idea comic? No, I don't. I don't get $6 value out of Bad Idea unless I do, which is this. Hank Howard is an anthology. It's written by Venditti, I believe. Yes, and illustrated by Lapham. It is. It took me a long time to read this issue. Like Lapham is not cutting corners. He's doing a lot of work recently for Image and Dark Horse and Bad Idea and blah blah blah. Where you would think that someone taking on that much sequential art would find some way, like there is not even a duplicated panel among the work, which is saying a lot because it's become de rigueur to that's French to copy and paste a panel these days to save time. Lapham doesn't do it, right? We saw the hardcover of Night City come out today. He's doing the Pizza Detective for Bad Idea, and he's doing other books as well, such as Banana #1, #1. You're thinking I'm stuttering, but I'm not. The Banana #1 is a crime fighter known as Banana #1. And in this issue, it's an anthology as well. Get this, Kevin Maguire. Yes.
Excuse
Joshua,
me.
yeah, Joshua Dysart, Rico Renzi. Rico's all over the place.
Yeah.
And David Lapham. again, it's an anthology. The storyline was When I Was Five, was written by Mark Waid, illustrated by David Lapham in black and white, and the banana number one is drawn by I'm shaking. I want to say McCone, Maguire, and it's in color. Did I get $5.99 of enjoyment from this issue? Yes, I did. Again, it took me a long time to read it. It's stupid, it's silly, it's totally off the wall. There's a David Bowie homage cover of Aladdin saying as banana. That now Dingoliath. Dingoliath is written by Robert Venditti with art by Brockton McKinney, and it is almost entirely in pantomime. The first panel, which is a one-page spread, splash, has it takes place in Australia, right? The majority of the issue is silent, with the exception of some onomatopoeic sound effects, which take up not only one, but 2 pages. And then you have scattered bones on the third page, one panel. Each of the pages has maybe 3 panels. Some have 2. Some did I get $5.99 of value out of this issue? No, I did not. I didn't. That I think it's kind of a bad idea, pun intended, to print this stuff on newsprint, and charge $6 for each issue, unless you have banana number one, or Hank Howard Pizza Detective. That I think it's fine, because it did take me, like I said, a long time to read. I maybe finished this Dingoliath in 5 minutes. Maybe. Wow. Yeah, that's been... And I read it again. Well, I looked at it again, thinking, maybe I missed something? No, I didn't. I did not miss anything. It has a preview of Lancer number 1 in the back. I already read Lancer number 1. So, not worth $6. But the majority of Bad Idea stuff is worth the paper on which it's printed. I just think it's a... is it kind of shitty? I'm asking you. Is it kind of shitty to start an upscale format with cardstock covers and then switch to do newsprint and regular paper for the covers? But you still charge $6 per issue.
Yes, it's shitty.
Yeah, that's crazy. It does not make sense. But a lot of Bad Ideas choices don't make sense. They're championing this artist. This he did the Lancer book. What is his name?
It's not Baker, is it?
Jake. Yeah, Jake Baker.
Yeah. The guy's got commissions from This Year at Heroes.
I think he's good. He's really good.
Yeah.
But they're championing him as the next I don't know, say Dan Moore, and it's not going to happen. It's, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to happen. I think the guy's good, but Dan Moore or Ray Larso or insert artist here or Jorge Corona, like he's not, he is not at that level yet. Whereas it's a bad idea to champion this guy, but the company seems to be founded on bad ideas. So there you go. I do. I love bad idea, and I hate them. Well, hate's a strong word. Dislike them at the same time. But I can't stop buying their books. So the joke, as they say, is on me.
Listen,
Yeah, yeah. You want to bring it on home?
I think we should bring it on home because I'm about empty on my list.
Okay. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. Cheapgraphicnovels.com. They sponsor our show. They have the lowest prices around. Go there. Please leave us a review where you listen to this, whether it's a star review or you actually have to, God forbid, type some words out, and that's not going to get anybody to do it. And please check out our Slack, patreon.com/11 o'clock comics, no apostrophe. Our Slack is beautiful. Our patronage, the patrons are wonderful. And the Slack is the beating heart of 11 o'clock comics. So check that out. In your travels, I have made it a point, a concerted effort to read all of Boom's Power Ranger stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it. So I thought, what do I read first? Like, there's so many books. There's so many deluxe editions. Like, where do I go? At the beginning, right? I have read Go Go Power Rangers Volume 1, which was written by Ryan Parrott, color art by Raul Anglo, letters by Ed Dukeshire.
Yep.
And when I tell you who penciled it, you'll get it. It's illustrated by Dan Moore.
Yep. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he's not trying to emulate Winsor McKay. Like the Red Ranger does not look like Jason Lee Scott from the show. And for those who have no idea who the Power Rangers are, I will not go into detail. Suffice to say, the Saban stripped out all of the Japanese stuff and inserted Americanized it, the Sentai shows. So you get all of the Rangers, but they don't necessarily look exactly like their TV show counterparts, which I think is a good thing because we know that the Black Ranger Zack, we know that's Zack. We know Trini is the yellow, right? And we know Billy is the blue, blah, blah, blah. And I think Kimberly, the actress that plays her, actually wrote some of the Power Rangers comics. Yes, we get the Megazord, but this is the first appearance, or the first time the Power Rangers have met Rita Repulsa. She was imprisoned for 10,000 years by Zordon. It was she that returned, so to speak, the favor to Zordon and imprisoned him as energy in the artifact, right? Of course, Finster's there. He builds the kaiju, and the putties are there. Goldar and Squat and Babu, and there's another kaiju. The whole 9 yards is Reed kidnaps a pair of astronauts on the moon, and she wants to know who the Power Rangers are because they're becoming nip it in the butt, so to speak. They're becoming too strong, right? Alpha's in here, Zordon's in here, Bulk and Skull. They're like I said. Kimberly has a love interest in Matthew Cook. Bulk and Jason have a beef that goes on. It's only 4 issues. Trini has a crush on Jason. There's a kaiju named Flog that Rita sends down. She does a spear thing. It's so good. It's so much fun that the majority of my enjoyment, I don't want to discount the creative team because I think that they did a fabulous job. But the real drawing, like Ryan, the story's great. It's fun. But the real draw for me is Dan Moore, who I think draws like crazy. He there's a diagram illustration of the different swords combining into the Megazord. Oh my goodness. It is unbelievably good. It's Dan Moore. Like, how could it be bad? I think he emerged from the womb as a fully fledged artist. There's no good chicken, bad chicken with Dan Moore. It's
No, it's
all
just Dan
good.
Mora. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's so good. So read Go Go Power Rangers if you're like myself and have been putting off reading Boom's Power Rangers stuff. Start at the beginning, at least as far as I'm concerned. It's a beginning. Chronologically, there may be stories that take place before, but I'm not aware of them. Read Go Go Power Rangers Volume 1 and about you'll be awash in the glory that is Dan Moore. Not to put too much on Dan Moore, but yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah,
In your travels, I didn't. This wasn't planned. I really didn't know that I was kind of just gonna do a Idea-O-Rama tonight. But aside from, I just want to mention the Fury of Firestorm #5. It's a there was some cracks are showing with Firestorm, of course, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Rafael De La Torre, colors by Marcello Maiolo, and Lorraine, of course, has gotten through to Martin Stein, and they are trying to rescue Ronnie, and the issue kicks off, of course, with some of that Bronze Age goodness, as Firestorm is now a member of the Justice League of America up on the satellite. Get a little bit of a back and forth between Green Arrow and Hawkman, because Hawkman is the dick of the Justice League. And
hey now,
hey, am I wrong?
hey, I think Booster Gold is the dick of the Justice.
Booster Gold's an idiot. He's not. He's not. He is not a mean, angry person. He is not.
Yeah, Carter could be a dick.
Booster doesn't think his
Okay.
shit doesn't stink. Hawkman is just. Hawkman's a bit of an aggro. It's fine.
I think it's a discussion for another day.
That's fine.
It's
We can
a
absolutely have
long.
that. I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. Yes, that's perfect. But yeah. So Firestorm goes out to help the Justice League take care of things, while in the present day, Lorraine and Martin are going to try to get through to Ronnie. And it looks like there's a moment where that might actually happen, but looks can be deceiving, and then there's a bit of a there might be a bit of a holy crap moment on the last page here, but yeah, next issue number 6 says the end at the beginning, so we'll see what that means. But I also want to mention the premiere, the pilot episode of Lanterns was out on Sunday on HBO. So that season has begun. Really entertaining first episode. We get a bit of a time jump. We're introduced to Jon Stewart at a young age, and then cut a bunch of years later, 20 years later. We're now in 2016, and then the last scene in the episode takes place in 2026. And but Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart, I thought I thought he did a great job, kind of bringing that character to life, and because he's stiff, he is a not stiff in a negative sense, just he's a Marine, and he there's there's rigidity in his life, and or the structure, and he is Hal's trainee, and has to learn how to be a Green Lantern, and Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan is he's a bit gruff, a bit jaded, a bit cynical, seen some things. I am not that last scene kind of threw me for a bit of a loop, but I trust the creative team. Listen, I've been a Damon Lindelof fan for a minute. I enjoyed Lost, love The Watchmen, and Tom King is also a co-creator on this show, and I do trust Tom, even though there might be times where he'll use characters that use them in a way that I don't necessarily agree with, or I know where he's fond of a character that I might not be.
Wally.
Yeah, what he does with Wally, of course. Yeah, that, I mean, we're not going to forgive him for that. But we know that I'm curious to see if, I mean, we've been introduced to 3 Lanterns so far in this particular universe. We saw Guy Gardner in Superman, and now we have Hal and John. I don't want to say with 100% certainty. I know that Kyle played a part in Tom's Omega Men miniseries a bunch of years ago. So I would not be surprised if Kyle shows up in this series. And while I may have softened on Damian and Prime, I don't know if I'm there yet for Kyle. But I've heard a couple of theories, and I'm hoping that they don't go down that road. I think it's too soon, and I'm not a fan. But I thought it was well shot. I thought everybody in it did a solid job. I got some laughs out of it. I am excited for more. So yeah, in your travels, if you haven't yet, check out Lanterns, and hope you're reading The Fury of Firestorm by Lemire and De La Torre.
I'll add to that, if I may.
You may.
I'm 3 episodes into One Piece season 2, and I think it's, for right now, it's better than season 1. And I love season 1.
I think I haven't started the second season yet. No, I started the first episode, but it was late. So I was like, all right, I'm not in the right mindset. So I'll come back.
A lot of episodes. Yeah, the first episode.
So yeah, so I'm going to I'm when I can sit down and just spend time with it, I'm looking forward to it, because I really did enjoy the first season. I mean,
so good.
it's weird. There's absolutely no relation except for the fact that they're both adapted from other media. I am still sore over Netflix not continuing Cowboy Bebop, but I'm not holding that against One Piece. And I thought that I thought the first season was absolutely phenomenal for One Piece. So I am looking forward to seeing this crew gel more, and as we see some of their crazy adventures. I mean, the characters are all amazing. The effects are fantastic. It's a freaking show, and I love that about it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna sit down with that. I am. It's how many episodes is it? Like 8, 10?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to look ahead. It's freakier than the first season so far.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The dude,
It's
the dude
wild.
with the clown nose freaks me the fuck out.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Expect more of him. Okay.
In the first episode.
Oh, did
He's
I
in.
see the first episode then? I might have. Fuck.
Yeah. But you could tell that they're investing more money into One Piece because the special effects are crazy.
They're movie quality.
They are. Yeah. Okay. We did the spiel. Second, do yourself a favor and say good night. Hopefully, Jason's having fun and he goes back next week. David,
Good night.
I made it easy.
You did.
I did.
Hopefully, Jason and David.
Nice. We love you.
Love you tons.
That's it for that one.